Good morning and welcome, folks. It is Thursday, the 7th of April. I'm Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Okay, we've got the start of the Masters today. We've got the start of the Aintree Festival today. There is a lot going on. I've gone for a full deck of bets, £20. I'll be really straight. It well could have been stake and a half, and I could have put more bets in or done more on the stake, but I'm conscious that we've done a full day stake on the golf already. It will definitely be a full day stake tomorrow, and it will definitely be a full day stake at least on Saturday, but to be honest, it's the Grand National, so I'll probably go stake and a half. So I don't want to kind of just keep lumping out lots of money on the channel, so I'm happy with what I've got today. But it definitely could have been more, and I could have put more bets in. So I've got my best 12 each way horses in the best 12 races, and in 3 lucky 15. So very similar to yesterday. I was looking at other things. There was other bets I could have done, and there was Win Trixie and stuff, and I focused the energy where I think it's the right place to go to. So we'll get to that. Before we do, we'll do our review of yesterday. And yesterday was a better day. Hooray! We've been on a bit of a stinker of a run. It wasn't life-changing yesterday, but at least it stops the rot. So a decent day. So I made it on my figures 20 on, 34.89 back, and I'll go through it in a little bit more detail because I had 3 Rule 4 deductions on my bets that where it may or may not have been applicable to yours. Not that anyone's really going to worry about the pence, but it is important to get through this stuff accurately. So 20 on, 34.89 back, which does leave us £3 behind for the week, which is much better than clearly where we were the day before. So, what did we have yesterday? This first one, when you play with some of these prices, sometimes you get burnt. So Sarah's Hope, that underperformed. It was backed in shorter than that. It went early in the race, and then the result was strange. The wings of the race, so the draws either side and the outside stalls were the first 7 home, and Sarah's Hope came last. So something a bit amiss there. Prince of Verona was then also last after going quite well up front. So this bet was looking terrible. Then Windfola was up there, but just didn't quite do enough. It was only 7th. And then Dandy Maestro, Hayley Turner, ran an absolute cracker on that. It's the second time we've seen that on this channel. We've had a Hayley Turner horse last to first. Just got up in the dying strides. The only annoying thing there was 12 to 1 I had on the channel. There was the favourite was withdrawn at the start, so I had a 35p Rule 4 deduction. The SP was 7 to 1, so I got 383 back on my bet. So I'm imagining most people will have had something similar if you've done that to the same stake. So 383 is what I got back on bet 1. Then bet 2, this didn't start so well either. So Arzak was only 5th, they paid 4th for a 7 to 2 shot. That was pretty poor. Then Sharib, I took a chance on that one, and it was all over the shop in terms of how it was riding. I wouldn't rule it out next time. I just think it definitely did not like Catterick. It didn't like the hill at all. It didn't know where to go. So not good. That was last. So 3 horses come last. That was great. Sweet November, that got completely left at the start and couldn't make up the ground. So it wasn't too far away from placing, but wasn't there. And then Safe Passage, second day in a row, we've had a 25 to 1 shot get done by a neck. It's the way it goes. On my one, I did have a 20p Rule 4 deduction. It depends on when you put the bet on. So some of you will have got that. It won't make huge amounts of difference to the bet, but I got £1 back. Some of you might have got 120 back on that one. It SP'd at 25s, but I got the Rule 4 deduction. Bet 2, and then bet 3 was our decent one that came and swooped and saved the day. Chicago Bear, 4th, SP'd at 12s. We had at 14 on the channel. Joyous was frustrating because it got stuck out the back and couldn't make up the ground. So it was 8th, but it really could well have been placed, which would have made an even bigger difference to this bet. Then Rosie's Rock was 4th. 22s had in the channel, but had a 15 pence Rule 4 deduction on that one. It SP'd at 12s. And then Free Park, 12 to 1, backed into 9 to 1. So I made that £30 and 6 pence is what I got back on bet 3. giving the total 34.89 back. So I'm hoping, however which way you did those bets, you all should have made money if you'd done the 3 lucky 15s in the same sort of way. So that was yesterday. All right, so for today we've got again 3 lucky 15s, and we've got some beefy prices in these. These are the ones where Sky Bet are going to limit you if they were all to win, which clearly they very much likely won't. All right, so start up with, we've got a Limerick each way lucky 15. There's some decent races at Limerick in terms of field sizes, and I've gone for some big prices on here altogether. And a lot of this bet is based around horses looking at the spring ground who were much better on a sound surface rather than what they've been running on over the winter in the soft and heavy. So predominantly this bet is based around that, certainly the top 3. The bottom one is a bit more of a punty one, I would say. So yeah, a bit more of a punt on that bottom one. It's probably the weakest of the 4. So 303, we've got Corbin 40-1. I think it's a really decent price. You don't get many handicap debutants at 8 on the jumps, but that's what it is. And I think, yeah, sound surface might be what that horse wants. And then the 338, Definite Adair 20-1. I think that horse looks for a sound surface too. I think it's won over course and distance before. And then 413, Blue Marquee 22s, again decent price, wants good ground I think. And then 445, it's a handicap debutant. It's got a bit of funny form, and they took it over to Foss Lass, I think, at one point. And it did actually run a decent enough race in a 3-runner race. So I'm taking a chance on that as a handicap debutant as well. And I can't pronounce it, can I? I can't. I'm not even going to try. You can see what it says on there, but what I would say is there's 2 horses that both start with Will in that race. So Gowran. I'm really sorry for anyone who just thinks I'm completely inept at reading. As I've explained on a previous video, I do have a bit of dyslexia, and so sometimes when I describe things verbally, it gets in my way, and I haven't got a chance on that one, I'm afraid. So 20p each way, lucky 15. That is what we've got. Bet 1. Bet 2, we've got 2 Aintree horses. I know a lot of people might think, well, Aintree's the main meeting, let's get some horses out there. I've gone for where the value is. Tomorrow and Saturday, there's much better value at Aintree. There's some 3 decent handicaps tomorrow, so we'll have a right good go at those. Today at Aintree, it's mainly small fields, so I've just got 2 at Aintree. I do like them both quite a bit. So bet 2's our main bet in terms of money it was worth. So in the 405 and the Fox Hunters, I'm not a massive fan of betting on these races. It's a great spectacle to watch the Fox Hunters over the national fences. But you get funny results, and last year's results were all sorts of funny. I mean, I did have a nice placed horse at huge odds last year, I'll be honest, but it wasn't easy to find. So Maracuja is where I'm going here because I think it's a great price. The Skeltons are in form. It's got Tristan Durrell on; he's in good form. It's you know, so many times you get these horses, they've come in, they've done dodgy results in points. Maracuja's not like that. It's got some decent form. Sometimes you don't know whether it's going to like the national fences or not. It's never ridden over them, but I think it's a decent price at 18s. And then we've got Sky Pirate in the big handicap at Aintree, 16-1. I think that's a really decent price. It didn't like the heavy ground at Cheltenham. If you look past its back, the rest of its back form, it definitely looks like it should be in the frame of that horse. So got two I quite like there at Aintree, but do have risks attached because last time out, no so good, and Maracuja's never gone on the national fences. And then I've got 2 with Gowran Park here. So 5 o'clock Gowran Park, Mysterio 40-1. It's got enough in there that I wanted to put it in. There wasn't anything else I particularly liked in that race, so I'm going with Mysterio. And then Red Heel, really like that as well. There's a couple in there for value in there. And again, you look at back form, and I think it's a horse that wants good ground. So decent prices in those first 2 bets. We've got 20p each way lucky 15 on the 4, and I've got 2 50p each way doubles. So we're doing the Aintrees as a 50p each way double, and the Gowran Parks as a 50p each way double. So 2 doubles and the lucky 15 as a straight one. Okay. And then the last bet, you're going to get underwhelmed because the prices are much smaller. So we've got 3 at Chelmsford and 1 more at Gowran Park. So 4 o'clock Chelmsford, Central City. Sky are now paying 4 on this race. Most bookies probably aren't, but I think it's still worth a go. Central City 16-1. It's got decent course distance form. The last couple of times it's not run well at Wolverhampton, so I'm taking a chance here that it gets back to form at Chelmsford and it's not just on a bit of a permanent lull. Then we've got 6 o'clock Barrettstown, 8-1. I couldn't find anything that you would look at and go, well, that's a much better price. So I'm going for one that I think is quite solid in that race. And then 6:45 Chelmsford, light up our stars, 9-1. I think some value in that each way. And 7:15 Dawes Toy Boy, 16-1. Value in there. Both horses that like the course and are in decent enough form. So I think there's some decent value in there. So it's a 20p each way, lucky 15 on that one. Those are our 3 bets. So tomorrow there'll be more Aintree because, as I said, there's 3 decent handicaps. And then Saturday will be a lot of focus on the Grand National. There's no Irish race on Saturday. So it's mainly going to be, but some of the jump stuff actually around the rest of the UK is all right. And as is Thirsk, I think, has got some decent stuff. So definitely will be some busy days on Friday and Saturday this week. All right, that is what I've got for you. So hopefully you enjoy that, and hopefully a lot of you guys can see here I have got a system that I'm using in terms of how I predominantly do my bets, but I'm also picking the horses. I know some people will come on and you know, they have a system and it might be a numerical system or a statistical system. You've got to play the market and look at what's to your advantage, but you also need to read and understand form to maximise that opportunity to pick out the best horses. And I am trying to combine 2 things here, and I've said this before. It's about analysis of the betting market, understanding how to put a bet on and how to maximise that, but it's also reading form and understanding that as well. So, you know, these big prices, they're not just there because I've stuck my finger in the air. I've spent a lot of time researching and going through these to give you the best bets I possibly can. That's what I've got for you today. Thank you everybody for any support you've been giving me, because when it goes bad like that we've had the last 9-10 days, it's not a lot of fun. Personally, I'm really comfortable with it in my own personal financial situation, as in I know it happens. So if I'm on a losing run, it happens and I accept it because I've got confidence in the way that I'm putting the bets on that it will pass. But I appreciate that's not a lot of fun for you guys when you're watching. So thank you for all the support. Enjoy today's day's racing, even though I haven't given you loads of Aintree ones, but a bunch of other tipsters will give you those if you want them. I will see you in the morning. Thanks very much.